Hey, it's been a little over 2 weeks. I'm a little bit late, but didn't have time for reels. And what is it? Yeah, today is my 4-month T-versary. So that's like significant. Good day to do a video. News, I got a consultation for top surgery scheduled with a doctor that got recommended to me in September, which is a ways, but I got in there. So, and you know, maybe I'll get lucky and it'll can be rescheduled earlier, but probably not, which is fine. It's on the calendar, and that's all I really need. Yeah, that's what's going on. I'm just gonna read a little bit again, like last time. I'm gonna read from Raffles, The Further Adventures of the Amateur Cracksman, because I'm trying to get through those again. And so I'm on the short story To Catch a Thief. So I'll just go for a couple pages. I don't know. I'll start and see when there's a good stopping place. Yeah, I feel like my voice has gotten a little deeper, so, and I'm working at it a little bit more too, so we'll see. Yeah, To Catch a Thief 1. Society persons are not likely to have forgotten the series of audacious robberies. Robberies by which so many of themselves suffered in turn during the brief course of a recent season. Raid after raid was made upon the smartest houses in town, and within a few weeks more than one exalted head had been shorn of its priceless tiara. The Duke and Duchess of Dorchester lost half the portable pieces of their historic plate on the very night of their Grace's almost equally historic costume ball. Stop it. Sorry. The Kenworthy diamonds were taken in broad daylight during the excitement of a charitable meeting on the ground floor, and the gifts of her belted bridegroom to Lady May Paulton, while the outer air was thick with a prismatic shower of confetti. It was obvious that all this was the work of no ordinary thief, and perhaps inevitable that the name of Raffles should have been dragged from oblivion by callous disrespecters of the departed and unreasoning apologists for the police. These wiseacres did not hesitate to bring a dead man back to life because they knew of no living one capable of such feats. It is their heedless and inconsequent calumnies, okay, the making of that the present paper is partly intended to refute. As a matter of fact, our joint innocence in this matter was only exceeded by our common envy, and for a long time, like the rest of the world, neither of us had the slightest clue. They spelled clue wrong? Yikes. CLEW. To the identity of the person who is following in our steps with such irritating results. I have to see if the clue, the lower or after corner of a sail. No, that's the wrong. This is an official edition. Wow. I should mind less, said Raffles, if the fellow were really playing my game. But abuse of hospitality was never one of my strokes, and it seems to me the only shot he's got. When we took old Lady Melrose's necklace, Bunny, we were not staying with the Melroses, if you recollect. I love the gentleman thief thing. Man, I love it. We were discussing the robberies for the 100th time, but for once under conditions more favorable to animated conversation than our unique circumstances permitted in the flat. We did not often dine out. Dr. Theobald was one impediment. The risk of recognition was another. Sorry, my camera is sometimes a dick. But there were exceptions when the doctor was away, or the patient defiant, and on these rare occasions we frequented a certain unpretentious restaurant in the Fulham Quarter, where the cooking was plain but excellent, and the cellar a surprise. Our bottle of '89 champagne was empty to the label when the subject arose to be touched by Raffles in the reminiscent manner indicated above. I can see his clear eye upon me now, reading me, weighing me. Bunny, you're so gay. But I was not so sensitive to his scrutiny at the time. His tone was deliberate, calculating, preparatory. Not as I heard it then, through a head full of wine, but as it floats back to me across the gulf between that moment and this. "Excellent fillet," said I, grossly. "So, you think this chap is as much in society as we were, do you?" I preferred not to think so myself. We had cause enough for jealousy without that. But Raffles raised his eyebrows an eloquent half-inch. "As much, my dear Bunny? He is not only in it, but of it. There is no comparison between us there. Society is in rings like a target, and we never were in the bull's-eye, however thick you may lay on the ink. I was asked for my cricket. I hadn't forgot it yet. But this fellow's one of themselves, with the right of they spelled that weird, into the houses, which we could only enter in a professional sense. That's obvious unless all these little exploits are the work of different hands, which they as obviously are not. And it's why I'd give £500 to put salt on him tonight." "Not you," said I, as I drained my glass in festive incredulity. Fucking love them. "But I would, my dear Bunny. Waiter, another half bottle of this," said Raffles, leant across the table as the empty one was taken away. "I never was more serious in my life," he continued below his breath. "Whatever else our successor may be, he's not a dead man like me, or a marked man like you. If there's any truth in my theory, he's one of the last people upon whom suspicion is ever likely to rest, and oh, Bunny, what a partner he would make for you and me." Oh, Bunny's gonna be jealous about that. "Under less genial influences, the very idea of a..." There we go. "Under less genial influences, the very idea of a third partner would have filled my soul with offense. But Raffles had chosen his moment unerringly, and his arguments lost nothing by the flowing accompaniment of the extra pint. They were, however, quite strong in themselves. The gist of them was that thus far we had remarkably little to show for what Raffles would call our second innings. This even I could not deny. We had scored a few long singles, but our best shots had gone straight to hand, and we were playing a deuced slow game." There are so many quotes in that sentence. "Therefore, we needed a new partner, and the metaphor failed Raffles." Alright, I'm gonna stop there because who knows how much longer that chapter goes on. I will do this either in a week, probably on Sunday, or 2 weeks, depending on my schedule and if anyone gives a shit. Bye!